basically the entire year 2022 was a turbulent one in capital markets, mainly due to the geopolitical situation, which was dominated by the war in Ukraine, but also due to COVID and its consequences. Now, I would like to take a view into the Schuldschein market and like to ask you what you discovered last year, 2022.
Yeah, thank you, Klaus. Well, the Schuldschein market had a tremendous year. So this might come to be as a surprise, as we have a different view on the bond market. But in the Schuldschein market, we had 175 transactions so far, delivering almost 33 billion in issuance volume. That was 5 billion more than in the previous record year, 2017. So where does this wonderful performance come from? What I brought you here is a chart about the number of deals in marketing stage on weekly average, and you see the red line, the current year, and then compared to an average in blue of the last few years. And what we can see here is that the market really took off in two periods. That was early summer and then again in autumn. So this were the two periods where really the market was very, very dynamic, delivering these high volumes over the entire year. So when we look at the sector, it might come as no surprise that, for example, the utilities were very active in the market due to the energy crisis that is going on right now. So they placed 23 deals alone. That was the highest number among sectors. But Klaus, maybe you can give us some insights on your views, what were really the market drivers in 22?
Yeah, I think we had various aspects to look at. The one is looking at the interest rate environment, where we saw a shift from the negative interest rate environment into a positive one. And looking at the Schuldschein market particularly, we had to work with a interest rate floor over the last few years, which just got away with the new positive interest rates, which helped certainly the market in competition to the bond market. And this in turn brings me to the bond market, which had its issues itself, i.e. we had a very challenging market environment with strong spread widenings in the bond market, which therefore brought a shift from quite a number of issuers into the Schuldschein market, which was, as ever, a solid and quiet market with significantly less volatility.
Yeah, what you just said, that is really supported also by the statistics. So in this year, we had 42 rated companies coming to the Schuldschein market. That is the highest number since 2008, which was also, by the way, some difficult year for the bond market. So a lot of issuers, frequent borrowers coming to the marketplace that otherwise could finance in the bond market.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. And what I would like to understand, what else you discovered, particularly in 2022, did you see any trends?
Well, when we talk about big trends, I would say there are basically two. One, of course, is the trend to ESG. In the last quarter, the fourth quarter, 38% of the market volume were placed with an ESG component. There was only one other quarter, the second quarter, where we had a higher percentage, which was 53%. So and if we talk about 2022 as a year of a whole, we had 12.5 billion of sustainable issues in the marketplace in 51 transactions. This compares to the previous year, roughly 30% of the market which were only 6 billion. So really a quite significant growth there. And one additional interesting fact, you can see that here in the third and fourth quarter in blue, we had only sustainability linked issues of late. And well, this issue is quite popular with the companies because they are unrestricted with the use of the proceeds. So when it comes to another trend, I think internationalization is quite important. We had 14 billion of market value being placed so far by international issuers. And what we can see here is also that not just the traditionally quite popular countries like Austria and Switzerland came to the market. No, we had also companies coming from other countries, and in total this 14 billion euros of market value we saw so far is really a record value. And what is interesting on top of that, so far this year 43 issuers came for the first time to the market, and 17 of them were from abroad. That shows me that there is a continuous interest from international corporates to tap that market, and I think that trend therefore is going to continue as well. Of course, the trend to sustainability will continue as well.
This brings us straight into your expectations for the next year. I'm curious how you see 2023.
Well, for 2023, I think there are some pros and cons how the market will develop. So first, I would like to have a look at the refinancing costs in the bond market. We have seen this tremendous increase over the year of 2022 that pushed some issuers on the Schuldschein market, as you explained. But at the end of the year, we see this leveling off a little bit. And if we look at the swap rate curve, we have an inverted swap rate curve right now. So the market participants expect interest rates to be a little bit lower going forward. So this push factor will not be there anymore in the next year. But the second thing you mentioned, the floor, or let's say the disappearance of the floor, this disadvantage, that will stay to be in favor of the Schuldschein market, because basically the interest level will not go down as we have seen 1 or 2 years ago. So that is an important factor. But when we look also at the companies themselves, I think there is quite significant refinancing need there, because companies have to invest in the diversification of their supply chain, and on top of that in more sustainable production processes. Okay, we know that a lot of companies have cushioned their liquidity or have bolstered their liquidity cushion there. But I think that is more for the ongoing production process, business process in a very uncertain environment with rising production costs. So I think for when it comes to the investment that companies have to take to make in the long run, there is quite significant refinancing need there.
And I think there's also another aspect which we need to consider. This is maturities. Looking at the standard maturities in the Schuldschein market, which is 5 and 7 years. So counting back from 2023, it's 2018 and 2016. 2 very strong years as well in the Schuldschein market. We saw total volumes of 25 billion each, roughly, which means that we can expect quite a significant number of refinancings which will be needed in the following year.
I have exactly the same opinion, and when we sum up all of these different facts, I would say, okay, we probably will not see a record year next year as we had it now in 2022, but we will see a very decent performance. So I would expect something between 25 and 30 billion of euro of issuance volume is quite possible in the coming year.
So this, Uli, is a very positive outlook for 2023. Thank you very much. And I can confirm also for the first quarter, we do expect quite a good number of new transactions starting really at the very first week of January already. We may see new transactions. And this brings me now to a big thank you to you, Uli, for your outlook.
Welcome.
And also thank you for looking back into 2022. But of course, also a very big thank you to our customers who we will be able to support in their refinancings and also on their investments in the last year. But also thank you very much for your trust in Helaba. Now I wish you all a very good Christmas time and a good start into a healthy new year 2023.